Reverend Kay is one of the kindest, most beautiful souls you'd ever meet.
She tells the story that when she was 5 years old, she was out watching the clouds or in a swing or something, and she hears this voice, and it's what we call Yeshua, and asking her to come with him. So she runs back in and tells her grandmother that she has to go, that Jesus wants her to go with him, that Jesus was talking to her, and her grandmother says, Jesus does not talk to the likes of us. And she said, well, he may not talk to you, but he talks to me, and has been ever since.
The first time I met Reverend Kay, my brother invited me to go to a new church, and we grew up in the Baptist church. And Reverend Kay walked out on the stage and she said, aren't you glad there isn't a hell? And I was like, whoa, we're fixing to get struck by lightning.
I read an article in the Dallas Morning News, December 31st, 1994, that described her in a way I'd never heard of a minister. And it described her as her hug was like falling into the plushest pillow you had ever imagined. And I just had to come check it out.
When she decided that she wanted to hire me for her church, I had come in, and I'm kind of a glitzy kind of person, wear makeup, had long nails, lots of jewelry. And I thought, I don't know if this is going to be appropriate for church.
I'll tell you what my brother said about Reverend Kay. He said, the only thing that she does better than being a minister, counseling, opening the eyes of the world, is to accessorize.
She came in and I saw she had gold fingernails on, and she had lots of jewelry. And I thought, that's the church for me. And she accepted me just like I was.
One of her great contributions has to do with the fact that she was the minister of this church and this congregation during the height of the HIV/AIDS epidemic. It was at that time when so many of her congregants were becoming ill, feeling the fear of their lives in that situation, seeing the rejection of society, and many of them their own family and friends. And yet she was always there for them with open arms. She was in their homes, she was at the hospital, she was always there, letting them know that they were loved no matter what and accepted.
Who you are, where you came from, what your beliefs are, what your lifestyle is. She loves you no matter what.
The one thing that I admired about Reverend Kay was her ability to walk into a room in any situation, and just from the energy that was there, she could sum up everything that was going on.
Everything she says, I feel like she's talking directly to me. And I'll go up to her afterwards, I'll say, how did you know what was going on in my life? And she doesn't, but she has that ability to reach everyone. And we all think that she's talking to us because we can all relate to what she's talking about.
You've rarely had to tell her your whole story. You could just begin, and then she could take over from there and tell you, this is where you are and this is where you might want to be. Think about it, and let me help you open up your eyes to the situation.
She's a good listener. She's a loving listener. Most people listen and they're trying to think of what to say, and I think she just allows Spirit to speak through her, so she's just a really good listener.
She listens and is so in touch with her higher self that always the right word comes through, the right tool to use to help change your life will come forth.
She's intuitive, she's loving, she's unconditionally loving, she's understanding.
She has a sense of just enthusiasm for life that she carries with her all the time. And she's a visionary. She gets the big picture, she sees the big picture, and she inspires people to the best in themselves.
She always inspires you to open yourself up, believe in yourself, do whatever would be of inspiration to you, would make your heart more open, would make you happy. She's just always the biggest number one supporter of anybody who is in her life.
I think Reverend Kay is pretty much an open book. I think she's very honest, she's very open, she's very forthcoming with her stories about herself, even if they don't always make her look, especially good. I really don't think she hides anything. And that's part of the beauty of her.
She's been with the parent that rejected her. She's had the difficult times. She's had the divorce. She's, raised 5 kids with little to no money. She lived through the Depression. She's done all of those things. So I think her journey is what's, put her where she's at and made her the person that she is, to be able to guide and be an example to the rest of us.
She came here to demonstrate, and demonstrate she has. She demonstrates with her life everything that she teaches.
She's taught us how to look on the bright side, how to love ourselves more than anything. She's taught us what it really means to be a family.
Oh, without a doubt, her most significant contribution are the students. They're all over the world, whether they're in ministry or teaching or just in their everyday lives. They're living the teaching that we have learned being here. It's her students, for sure.
People that have come to this church only one time got a new roadmap about how to carry out their lives. And I can tell you that through the collective mind that Reverend Kay taught us about, everyone is using that message in their lives.
She's a master on a mission, and she allowed life to lead her in that direction and provide that opportunity.
One of the things that makes her such a good leader is her ability to see the goodness, not only in people, but the goodness in every situation that comes into her life.
Well, it's hard to see the Christ in everybody, especially somebody that you don't feel a particular energy with. Reverend Kay doesn't have that block. Reverend Kay walks up to every person. The Christ in her connects to the Christ in them, and that's how she's able to touch so many people.
To be able to understand that there is so much more than what you see with your eyes. That, forgiveness and understanding and patience and love, these are all things that are necessary to live the kind of life that we want to live.
She preaches love and not fear and not hate and not anger. She teaches love and acceptance and unconditional love.
She doesn't, tell you about unconditional love and then not give it. She does. She doesn't tell you about life is supposed to be joyful and then not be joyful. She shows you all of the things that she teaches you.
During the fairly early days of the church, one of the congregants invited Rev Kay to go to a gay bar, a place where there was dancing. And Rev Kay loves to dance. She's quite a good dancer. So she went with him. And when she got to the place, there was a young man who was one of the congregants, and he came up and asked her to dance with him. And she said, "No, honey, you need to dance with one of those handsome young men over there, not me." And it took some convincing, but eventually she was convinced to dance with him, and she did. And while they were dancing, he said, "My mother never accepted me for who I am. And when she would never set foot in a place like this. And when I dance with you, I feel the love and acceptance that I always missed." And that's Rev Kay. She is the love and acceptance that we've all missed.
I totally lived my life flatline until I came here. And now my life is the greatest roller coaster with amazing highs, a few lows. But I know from her teaching that this too shall pass. And that's how my life has changed, big time.
Being a part of this church and knowing Rev K has changed my life more than any other event that's ever happened.
The minute I met her, I knew she was my family.
She's been all of my life encouraging. She's really just been one of the biggest supports. She's been the person that has held the family together no matter what.
She's my go-between. She's my spiritual leader.
Reverend K is the one who gave verification to what was coming up in my heart about myself, life in general, and her teachings fit perfectly with that. She added depth to those beliefs, clarity to some thoughts, and everything that she has taught and shown me has enriched my life.
She justified the things that I was feeling and the things that I thought, and made me feel like I was okay in what I was feeling.
I think Rev K's legacy is that of a master spiritual teacher.
And then the many people that she taught have gone forth with their own ministries. And so her legacy is exponential.
Each person that she's touched will touch 10 more people and 10 more people. And it's really about the ultimate healing of the earth.
But most of all, her legacy will be the way she lived her life and the way she showed us that no matter what the question that comes up, love is the answer.
We would have been much poorer if Reverend K had not followed her mandate and done exactly what she did.
Reverend K, has told me that she won't be on the planet forever. And I finally realized that's okay because her work is going to continue and it will live on.
As hard as it is, it's been a real joy being able to take care of her at this time of her life. I just want to thank her for allowing me to do that for her so that she can be the best she can be with what time she has left. Thank you for being the best mom in the world, for always being there and being supportive, for not letting me get by with the stupid stuff without calling me on it. Thank you for letting me be who I am.
Rev K, you are so precious to me. You're the light of my life. I can't imagine this lifetime without you as my friend. You listening to me, you helping me, you supporting me has meant everything to me. And I thank you.
You are the most beautiful person I've ever known, inside and out. I appreciate you allowing me to make music for you and for the congregation for all these years, and I know the rest of the band feels the same way.
Thank you for lighting my light. I promise to keep it burning, and I know you'd come back and haunt me if I didn't.
There are no words to express my gratitude for all that she's been in my life.
How do you express gratitude for the person that, counseled you, married your sister, buried your brother, ordained you, christened your children? There are no words. But if I had to say one thing, you're irreplaceable.
I love you, Rev K. Always have and always will.
I love you, Reverend K.
I love you so much. You're my second mother.
And I love you.
I know that anytime I'm thinking any kind of negative thoughts, I think about Reverend Kay and I think about her teaching, and I think, I want to be like Reverend Kay.